move along. Too worried about living and concerned with right or wrong. Write a song so I belong somewhere. Move along. Too worried about living and concerned with right or wrong. Write a song so I belong somewhere. They don't come around for a nigga like me. Got left on the ground, God can't get a sound from a nigga like me. Cause down where a nigga might be very young from my depression. The trauma I'm suppressing. Thought I'ma die from weapon. Paramedics count compressions. My confessions, I've been stressing. Trying to hold it on my own. My obsessions got connected to what's unfolding in my home. Burn my chest and now I'm gone. Rumor messing down Patron. Dollar desperate down the drain. And got it checks to sign the loan. To keep that city housing, that project living. Them ghetto streets so we grow. Where metal speaking, them pedals leaving. The settled seas to be snow. That rebel peak and he low. The sky's the limit. We try to hit it. We can't reach so we get high up in it. And end up low when we die up in it. Take off the foo-foo. Take off the clout chase. Take off the mask. Take off the fake smile. Take out the flash. Feel like the sand might break out the glass. The rope is on, approaching dawn. The gates to go to state where I hope to spawn. For now when the music plays, the cloak is on. The phone is my remote for the notes. Come on, it's move along. Too worried about living and concerned with right or wrong. Write a song so I belong somewhere. Move along. Too worried about living and concerned with right or wrong. Write a song so I belong somewhere.
Yo, we are live. We are live once again. Baller Central. I'm just promoting everything real quick, saying we're live. If you're watching, if you're listening via audio, thank you for tuning in. Either way, live or recorded. I'm your boy Phil. We're here to talk about some basketball today. We're playing basketball. Hold on. I just got to finish promoting. We'll be all good to go. Boom, boom. First off, I want to wish. Let's see. Hold on. Sorry. Boom. Okay. So we are live. It's going to be a short pod. It's just me solo today. John and Elijah busy with stuff, as obviously. So we're here to talk about a couple things. We're here to talk about the Cavs, their historic start. The Thunder are also on a historic start. I believe the first team to win their first 7-8 games with 10+ point lead. So shout out to the Thunder. The Warriors are also 6-1. They played 3-4 games off Steph Curry, so that's surprising. Tatum went on Jeff Teague's podcast to talk about a lot. How he almost got traded, or how he almost wanted to be traded. How the Lakers didn't call for a tryout or anything as well. The Lakers, they had a little honeymoon phase with JJ Redick. They started off a nice 2-3-0, and then they've been falling down to earth a little bit. So we're talking about that. Drake versus DeMar DeRozan. So we're going to start off with Drake versus DeMar DeRozan. Now, if you're new, just a heads up, welcome to Baller Central. We are talking about sports and we have our slight humor twist on it. So our own unique point of view on sports, anything that happens during sports, especially NBA and NFL, that's our main topics. We usually dabble in some WNBA, WWE as well. We have a pod, a side pod that we do once every month, or twice every month, I believe, a reaction and a predictions episode for each PLE for every month. So make sure, if you love WWE, make sure you tune in. We also have a gaming channel, etc. We also are on all the socials, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, etc. At Ball Central 4. Make sure you follow us, and a lot more. Also, we're also on all the audio platforms as well. So make sure, if you don't like watching and you love listening, make sure you follow and all that good stuff. So, what else? Promotions, yada yada yada. Okay, we got everything. So let's talk about Drake versus DeMar. I believe it was Kings versus Raptors, since Drake is the ambassador for the Raptors, I believe still. DeMar DeRozan signed with the Kings over on the offseason. So this was like a little homecoming since he was drafted by Toronto and everything. So during the game or near the end of the game, an announcer was talking to Drake, yada yada yada, and Drake brought up, "Oh yeah, if you put up a DeMar DeRozan banner or like a retired dude, etc., I'll do my very best to take it down." And then DeMar DeRozan caught wind of that, and then he said, "Yeah, it'd probably be a long climb to take it down anyway." So honestly, DeMar DeRozan does deserve that banner, whether he left your team or not. I don't know why Drake says he doesn't deserve a banner. He's like number one or number two he's like top three in all the major Raptors categories. And he was the sacrificial lamb to help get Kawhi Leonard to Toronto to win that team a championship. So some could say if it wasn't for DeMar DeRozan's stellar player, he wouldn't be a valuable asset to trade for Kawhi Leonard so they can get the chip. So bump whatever Drake's saying. Toronto owes a lot to DeMar DeRozan. Not only sacrifice on the court, but also getting traded, sacrificing himself. So people like Kyle Lowry can win a championship. Pascal Siakam could win a championship, and many more. So DeMar DeRozan, Kyle Lowry, Kawhi Leonard should be honored as some of the Raptors' greats. Since Kawhi Leonard, even though he spent like one season there, he won them a championship, even though it was under like very unique circumstances. But if you win a championship and you're the main guy, even if it's for one season, you deserve to be a legend. But yeah, I think Drake's bugging with that take. DeMar DeRozan, I forgot. Like points scored, minutes played, etc. I don't know how much, but yeah, he's like top three in almost all the categories for the Raptors history wise. So him not being in the Raptors rafters bar, that's crazy. So Drake, gotta do better. Next up, the Lakers. The Lakers are a very unique situation. Let me pull up my phone. The Lakers started 3-0 in the season after they switched head coaches in the offseason. They fired Darvin Ham, and they hired JJ Redick, who was a podcaster at the time. He had a very, very successful podcast, The Old Man and the Three. He also worked for ESPN as a broadcaster and analyst, so he had a lot of hats. So the Lakers said, F it. We like JJ Redick. Him and LeBron. He also had a podcast where they talked basketball as well, the X's and O's. So they said, hey, let's go JJ Redick. Anything is an improvement over Darvin Ham, right? So the season started. They beat Minnesota. They beat Phoenix. And then they beat Sacramento. But since then, they lost to Phoenix. They lost to Cleveland, Cleveland's like 8-0 right now. So they beat Toronto, but then they just lost to the Detroit Pistons. So honestly, maybe the first three games were a little bit of a honeymoon, but looking at this roster for the Lakers, I just don't know. You basically, honestly, you have better coaching, I believe. It's just you have the same flaws from last year. You didn't make any significant improvements. LeBron James is your best three-point shooter. That's crazy. Yeah, but you didn't make any significant improvements. Didn't get better shooting-wise or defensive. It's basically the same roster from last year. Obviously, coaching can't cover up anything. So they still, but looking at the roster now, AD, LeBron, Reeves, Hachimura, D'Lo, Connect, Jackson Hayes, Max Christie, Gabe Vincent, Bronny James, and Cam Reddish. This is basically just, I think they're probably going to see the same flaws from last year. Not a lot of defense, especially guarding the three and shooting the three. Let's see, what are they? Right, here's their stats for this year. They're 9th in points per game, so that's good. Pace, 100. They're 8th in pacing. They're 10th in field goal percentage. But a problem they had last year, 3-point field goals. They make 10.4 a game. That's 30th in the league, so they don't shoot a lot of threes. But they're shooting 35.1% from the three-point range, which is like, it's average. It's about 16th. So they obviously need to improve their three-point shooting. Free throw percentage, 81.2%, 4th in the league. And also last year, their lack of size and their lack of big men, they are 25th in the league in rebounding. About 41 per game. They are 23rd in offensive rebounding. They're 9th in assists. They're 10th in assist percentage. And like defense, once again, they're 25th in the league in steals. They're also, let's see what else. True shooting percentage 10th. Effective field goal percentage 15th. Offensive rating, they're 8th in the league. And defensive rating 117.9. They're 22nd in the league. So this Lakers team is facing the same problems from last year. Defense, and you cannot shoot the three ball, which in this league, you need to be able to shoot the three ball effectively, especially with how many people are shooting the three ball in today's league. Honestly, unless they make some moves at the trade deadline, I don't think you should take this team too seriously. This team still looks like it's a play-in team. They just have a new face at the front line in JJ Redick. Obviously, I think JJ Redick is probably a better upgrade over Darvin Ham, but he can only do so much when there's obvious flaws on that Lakers roster. So they should have made some moves in the offseason, but I think the only ads they had was they drafted Bronny and Dalton Connect. So yeah, they're gonna be facing a lot of problems as well. So yeah, we'll see. Next up, Jason Tatum recently went on the Jeff Teague podcast to talk a lot. He talked about his career, actually. So basically what he said was, let's see. I'm trying to find like some clips. So he talked about the draft process, what he was going through, being drafted by the Celtics. And obviously, Jason Tatum is a Kobe fan because, who wouldn't know that he's a Kobe fan with the way he talks about Kobe Bryant. But he talked about on the Jeff Teague podcast about how the Lakers weren't even looking at him. I don't know if they even gave him any like camp invites or whatever. It was basically like, 0 dark 30 with the Lakers. So basically the Celtics, knew what they wanted. They traded down, obviously, with Philly to get that spot from 1 to 3. They drafted Markelle Fultz. The Lakers drafted Lonzo or Kyle Kuzma. I think Kyle Kuzma. And then the Celtics drafted Tatum. So obviously Tatum being a huge Lakers fan, he was kind of like dejected, saying that he wanted to play for the Story franchise because Kobe played for him. He never worked with the Lakers. He came to watch everything, yada, yada, yada. So he was kind of shocked because, as a Kobe fan, you want to play for the same franchise as he did. But it turned out for us because, champion. So, hey, thank you, Lakers, for messing up once again. Also, he talked about him in the Kyrie saga where Kyrie, Horford, Gordon Hayward were all a part of the team as well. Deservedly so. He felt like with Gordon Hayward and Kyrie and Al Horford being the main parts of the team, like the starters and everything, he felt like he wasn't going to be able to have time to develop or have that area to develop just because, they're in win now mode. They just traded for a forward, even though, they drafted Jason Tatum as their forward. So there, he basically felt like there was too much, basically saying there's too much, mud or too many forwards that you can say because Jaylen Brown, him, Gordon Hayward, etc. So basically, he felt like he wasn't getting a chance to show what he got with Gordon Hayward being there. But he put his head down, he grinded, and obviously the Gordon Hayward situation didn't work out. Neither did the Kyrie situation or Kemba. So he finally, he grinded through the years and developed his game, and finally got the chance to show what he has. And he is now the leader with Jaylen Brown as the Celtics as they won the championship, obviously last year. So, nice. It's just shows that if you put your head down, do the work, and anything you do, go through all the battles, your time will eventually come. So it's a nice little story from Jason Tatum right there. My guy, Jason Tatum. Next up, the Warriors. So the Warriors. Steph Curry. No, not Steph Curry. But yeah, so Klay Thompson left in the offseason after he went 0-7 in a playoff game against the Sacramento Kings. I believe it was playing game, sorry. And then they also start the season with Steph Curry injured for like 3 or 4 games. But the Warriors have turned it around, and now they're third in the West, sitting at 6-1. So they started the season I believe, where's the 23rd? They beat the Blazers to kick off the season, 140-104. Steph played in that game. Then they blew out the Jazz. Did Steph play in that game? Steph played in that game. And then they lost to the Clippers. Steph played in that game. And I think they sat the rest. Yeah, so, and then Steph was in out first with the Pelicans, and then maybe versus the Warriors, but they missed Steph for a good amount. But this Warriors team, who was struggled last year, was a play-in team. I think they just had a very, very, convenient schedule to start the year. I don't think we should take too much into the 6-1 record, just because you play the Blazers, you play the Jazz, you played the Clippers, who are still trying to get things together with, I think they just won their first home game at Intuit Dome, and no Kawhi, so obviously this team isn't what it used to be last year. No Westbrook either, and you beat the Pelicans, who just lost DeJounte Murray twice. So I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is I don't think this Warrior team can sustain this much success. Yes, you're 6-1, but you did have a very, very favorable schedule. See the Blazers, the Rockets are 4-3, so they're like the best team they faced so far. The Pelicans are 3-5, and the Blazers are 3-5. So to build up this 6-1 lead, they played against how many teams? They played against the Wizards, who's yikes. The Rockets 4-3, and everyone else is under 500. So I just believe it's it's just them having an easy schedule. Nothing more, nothing less. They're winning games they're supposed to win. So even with Steph Curry out, because the other teams compared, nasty work. Also, another team that's 6-1, the Phoenix Suns. This Phoenix Suns team has been looking very, very promising this year. Tyus Jones was brought in to help playmaking because D-Book was the main point guard last year. They realized having D-Book at point guard, Bradley Beal and Durant did not work out, so they wanted to bring in playmaking, and Tyus Jones, known to be a capable and reliable playmaker. He's averaging 6.8 assists this year, and he averaged 7.3 with the Wizards last year. So a very, very known playmaker. He was brought in, and now those Suns are now with 6-1 with a better coach in Mike Budenholzer, who was a former Bucks coach. They have championship level coaching, and they have playmaking, which was one of the very, very weaknesses of this team last year. So they're doing good so far. Durant is averaging 25, 3, 8, and 7. D-Book 26, 5, and 4. Bradley Beal 14, 4, and 3. So Tyus Jones 10, 6, and 3. So yeah, I think they still need to have better defense, team stats. What's their defense looking like right now? Defensive rating. Oh wow, they're one of the best defensive teams in the league as well, but they're mid on offensive rating for the season. So I mean, still early, but so far Suns could be very promising. The Thunder. Now the Thunder have been going crazy. They've won every game by 10 plus, as they are now what are they? 7-0. They're 7-0 and have won all games by 10 plus. So shout out to them. They're doing good as well. They're mid in points per game, but they're fourth in pace. They can improve with their 3-point shooting. They're 17th in percentage for 3-point shooting. They're about middle of the field for free throw percentage. They're 13th in rebounds. Oh, they're terrible on offensive rebounds. Assists, they're about mid as well. They're 16th. Assist percentage, 17th. They're number 1 in the league in steals per game, though. So that's good. Turnovers, they're 6th. True shooting percentage, middle of the pack. Efficient field goal percentage, they're about middle of the pack as well. See, defensive rating. They're number 1 in defensive rating, though. So that's very, very good. Let's see. So yeah, shout out to the Thunder. SGA is playing well as the league guy, so maybe they can make some noise. But hey, we'll see. See the Cavs. So we're here to talk about the Cavaliers, though. The Cavs have been hooping. The Cavs, I'm trying to go through the schedule right now. So the Cavs kicked off the year with a win over the Raptors. They beat the Pistons. They beat the Wizards. So far, 3 games that they should have won. They beat the Knicks, which is a very, very comp game. So that's a true and good W. The Lakers, I'll say compy, but even though they blew them up by 24, they beat the Magic by 11, I believe, without Paulo, and they beat the Bucks twice, one with Giannis and one without Giannis. So far they've had some pretty good games against the Bucks, a reliable game, the Knicks and Lakers. So probably like 4 quality games there. Team stats. Let's see how this historic team's going off. 8-0 to start the year, which is crazy. They're second in points per game, so that's great. They're first in field goal percentage, which is great as well. They're seventh in they're second in 3-point field goal percentage. They're seventh in 3-point field goals attempted and made. Free throws could use some work. They're 25th in the league. They're 25th in the league in rebounds, offensive rebounds. They're about 30th in the league. Assists, they're 6th. Assist percentage, they're 4th. They're tied for 2nd for steals, which is great. They're limiting turnovers. They're 7th in turnovers. They're 1st in true shooting percentage. They're 1st in effective field goal percentage as well. So this offense has been very, very elite starting things out. Let's see. Offensive rating, they're 2nd. So, yeah, this offense has been going crazy this year, led by Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell this year, as of right now, has been averaging 23, 4, and 2. He's shooting 48% from the field, 40% from 3, 77% from the free throw line, and 1.5 steals per game and a 59% true shooting percentage. So great. And you might be asking, what has the cast been doing? Darius Garland, he went crazy the game against the Bucks. I think he's got like 39. His season so far, 20 points per game, 6.5 assists per game. He's shooting 52% from the field, 45% from the 3-point line. Amazing. True shooting percentage of 66%, 1 steal per game, and about like 2 double-doubles so far. Now let's check how the big men have been performing. Evan Mobley, 17 points per game, 8 rebounds. He's shooting 53% from the field, 40% from 3, which I don't think he's taken too many, but he's been making the ones has been shooting. 84% from the free throw line, 60% true shooting percentage, and 1.8 blocks per game. So he has been hooping as well. And Jared Allen, before we move on to the next topic, 15 points per game, 11.6 rebounds per game, 68 field goal percentage, 70% free throw shooting. He could probably bump that a little more. 70% true shooting percentage. He's averaging a steal and a block as well. So, and 5 double-doubles. So Jared Allen has been eating. But who has been the Karis LeVert, 12, 4, and 3 as well. So yeah, this Cavs team, very, very scary. But is this sustainable? They might be early season schedule merchants because, 1, 2, 3, 4 games you can say was, given just because a main player was injured or they were terrible teams, but you can only play the games that's in front of you, so they're taking advantage of them. So we'll see how they perform. And the last team I want to talk about, very, very short pod, probably like 30 minutes or so, maybe under 30 minutes, the Milwaukee Bucks. Their old coach, Mike Budenholzer, is 6-1 with the Suns right now. And Doc Rivers, along with new assistant coach Darvin Ham, who they just hired in the offseason from the Lakers, they're 1-6. And I believe Doc Rivers with the Bucks are like 18-25 in the regular season, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah. And Adrian Griffin was fired when they were like 30-15 or 30-14. So, yeah, let's look at the Bucks real quick. How the Bucks have. Let's see. Okay, so they beat the Sixers. They lost some nasty games to the Bulls and Nets. Those are easy games you shouldn't have lost. They lost to the Celtics, which Celtics are one of the best teams in the league. That's a given. So I'm not going to blame them for losing that game. They lost to the Grizzlies by a blowout. So I thought it was going to be a lot closer, even though like Ja's coming back, etc. But then they lose to the Cavs back to back. Cavs have been known to be one of the early good teams of the year so far. So not too upset, but the losses getting blown up by the Grizzlies, it should have been competitive, is nasty, and the Bulls and the Nets is nasty. So let's see where they're ranking like season wise or team wise as of right now. Let's see. Points per game, they're 19th in the league. They're 9th in field goal percentage though. They are 14th in 3-point percentage, 35.4. They're shooting. They're 27th in the league in free throw percentage at 72.5. They're about mid in rebounds, 16th in the league. Offensive rebounds, they've been terrible, 28th in the league. Assists, they've been 27th in the league. Assist percentage, 26th in the league. Steals, 29th in the league. Turnovers, 16th in the league. True percentage, 12th in the league. Effective field goal percentage, 9th in the league. Offensive rating has been a little under average, 19th in the league, 111.3. And they have been a little abysmal with defensive ratings, 22nd in the league. So, yeah, very, very scary. Let's see. Who do they have? They got a Jazz. They got the Jazz, Knicks, Lakers, Raptors, Pistons, Hornets, Rockets. They should beat the Jazz, but I think they might face a road bump with the Knicks and Celtics. So who knows? They should beat the Raptors though. But hey, we'll see. Honestly, and Giannis said in the offseason, "Oh, if we don't get shit done, then I wouldn't be surprised if I got traded." Which he's basically just putting some essence out there that said, "Hey, I could be asking for a trade down the road just because it's not working out." Well, let's look at what happened since their last championship. Jrue Holiday's gone because they wanted a better player with Giannis, even though he won a championship with Jrue Holiday and Chris Middleton. Chris Middleton has been in and out of the lineup and the team with injuries because I think he got injured 2 years ago and has been in and out of the game ever since. So he's dealing with injuries. Brook Lopez is older. Bobby Portis is older. A lot of people on this team is older as well. Mike Budenholzer, who is dealing with a lot in one of the playoff runs, because I think he lost a family member as well. They lost the series. They fired him after he was one of the championship winning coaches they had. They hire Adrian Griffin, who was a rookie head coach. They fire him in the middle of the season and hire Doc Rivers, who's known to not be good with teams outside of the 08 Celtics. So, yeah, so it's been a mess for Milwaukee. Could you blame Giannis? Possibly, just because I don't think you trade for Dame. I don't think you fire Adrian Griffin or Mike Budenholzer. And I don't think other moves happen. Well, you can't blame, Giannis on Chris Middleton being injured more. So I'm not going to blame it on him. But certain moves, like high-profile moves, you best believe that they went to Giannis or called him or texted him and say, "Hey, you think we should do this?" Yada, 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 and gave his input. So Dame being there, you could probably blame Giannis, even though he's been great offensively. It's just he has been struggling on defense, which has been a known problem. He's still one of the best shooters in the league, and he could give you 30 any given night. But you're missing that defensive presence that you had from Jrue Holiday. And Chris Middleton's not there to play defense as well since he's in and out the lineup with injury. So the defense the Bucks once had when Giannis won DPOY, non-existent. Because what are they right now? Defensive rating. There's 20 seconds in defensive rating in the league. So very, very scary. So, yeah. I mean, with the roster right now, Giannis is 29. Lillard, 34. Lillard is 34. He's averaging 27 points per game, 6 assists, 40% from the 3-point line, 45% from the field. He's shooting great from the free throw line of 89, or you can run up to 90, 63 shooting percentage. But like I said, he's been trouble playing team defense. Giannis, 30 points per game, 31. He's averaging 12.3 rebounds and 6 assists per game. He hasn't shot any threes. He's shooting 63% from the field, 53% from the free throw line, that needs to be improved because hack at Giannis can always be a thing. 62.8 shooting percentage as well. He's averaging him and Lillard are averaging 3 turnovers a game as well. Bobby Portis, he's been here and there, 12 points, 9 rebounds a game. Brook Lopez, 10, 1 and 5. Torian Prince, which I guess he follows Darvin Ham wherever he goes, 8 points. Gary Trent, new acquisition, 8 points. AJ Green, Pat Connaughton. I prefer they have played Pat Connaughton more, but he's been declining as well. So yeah, 1 and 6. I'm shocked just because they Giannis and the Bucks have been a great team for a while. Maybe it's just time that they either switch up the whole thing, or maybe it's Giannis' time to go. He got them the championship. I mean, there's nothing more you can do for the franchise for win more. If they can't build a proper roster around Giannis, then you might want to start looking into the future, just because Damian Lillard is only getting older. He's 34? He's 34. Chris Middleton hasn't even played a game yet due to injuries. Brook Lopez, 36, so he's getting up there in age. Bobby Portis, 29. He thinks he's the same age as Giannis. Giannis is 29 as well. Torian Prince. A lot of these people are getting older. They're like high 20s, low 30s. So maybe you got to start thinking about the future for Milwaukee. But you shouldn't take them seriously as title contenders just because of their defense and their coaching. So if you have Darvin Ham and Doc Rivers on the same team, you're going to have a bad time. So yeah. Good luck. And a scary thing about the East is you look at the Cavs and the Celtics, they are the only teams above 500. The Heat and the Knicks and the Nets are the only teams at 500, at 3-3, 3-3, and 4-4. Everyone else under 500. Bulls 3-4, Pacers 3-4, Magic 3-5 because Paolo's gonna be out for like 4 to 6 weeks. Hawks 3-5, Pistons 3-5, Wizards 2-4, Hornets 2-4, Raptors 2-6, Sixers 1-5, and Bucks 1-6. What if I told you beginning of the year the Milwaukee Bucks would be the worst team in the East, sitting at 1-6 through 7 or 8 games? I would be called crazy, and I don't blame you. You have a talent like Giannis and Dame. There's no way you should have 1 win out of 7 games. You could blame Giannis. You could blame the coaching. But at the end of the day, if they don't get the shit together, maybe they might start thinking of the future this year. So, hey, there's people like the Knicks calling, the Nets calling, the Heat calling, the Warriors calling. People would still pay top dollar for Giannis. He's still one of the best players in the league. He's still a top 5, top 3 player in the league. So if I was the Bucks, I wouldn't like – I would maybe start fielding calls, see what you can get, test the market to see what you can get. So it all depends. But hey, we'll see. Is that the show pretty much? Yeah. So yeah, that's the show. I talked about everything I wanted to talk about. I wanted to do a segment with John, but he wasn't able to make it. Social media takes. We react to different social media takes online, TikTok, Twitter, etc., but we didn't have time for that. So hey, that's the show. Very, very quick one today. Not, too much. It's just me. So hey, thank you for tuning in. That has been the pod for this week. Me, John, and Elijah will be live this Thursday for NFL. We'll be talking about everything and anything. Week 9 touchdown celebrations, the little bowling pin thing from Drake London and Amon-Ra St. Brown that's sweeping the nation. Saquon Barkley, 360 backspin hurdle, if you want to call it that. And we're also going to give our mid-season awards as well. So, hey, make sure to tune into the NFL pod. We had to switch it this week due to scheduling conflicts. So, it's usually Tuesday NFL, Thursday NBA. But for this week, it's today NBA and Thursday NFL. So, make sure you stay tuned. Make sure you like and comment down below, subscribe, and put a notification so you know when we go live or when we upload. Make sure you check out Ball Central on all the audio platforms. We're live on every single one. We're live on Spotify, Spotify Junior, whatever it's called now. Google, we're live on Apple Podcasts as well. Make sure you stay tuned. Follow us on all our socials, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or X, what you want to call it, YouTube, TikTok, etc. And hey, that has been the show. Thank you for tuning in, and enjoy some music from our guy, 8th. Deuces.
Move along, to worry about living and concern with right or wrong. Write a song so I belong somewhere. Move along, to worry about living and concern with right or wrong. Write a song so I belong somewhere. They don't come around for a nigga like me. Got left on the ground, God can't get a sound from a nigga like me. Cause down where a nigga might be very young from my depression. The trauma I'm suppressing. Thought I'ma die from weapon. Paramedics count compressions. My confessions, I've been stressing, trying to hold it on my own. My obsessions got connected to what's unfolding in my home. Burn my chest and now I'm gone. Rumor messing down Patron. Dollar desperate down the drain. And got the checks to sign the loan. To keep that city housing, that project living, them ghetto streets so we grow. Where metal speaking, them pedals leaving us settle seas to be snow. That rebel peak and he low. The sky's the limit, we try to hit it. We can't reach so we get high up in it. And end up low when we die up in it. Take off the foo-foo. Take off the clout chase, take off the mask. Take off the fake smile, take out the flash. Feel like the sand might break out the glass. The rope is on, approaching dawn. The gates to go to state where I hope to spawn. For now when the music plays, the cloak is on. The phone is my remote for the notes, come on.
Move along, to worry about living and concern, but right or wrong, right or song, so I belong somewhere, somewhere. Move along, to worry about living and concern, but right or wrong, right or song, so I belong.